The following podcast may not be for all listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
In the span of human history, the deadly sins of theft and greed slither through time, unchanging, unrelenting, like hungry wolves in the night. Some humans want what glitters, what tempts, and what belongs to others. But beware, for some treasures carry consequences, and the fingers that grasp too greedily might find themselves caught in a trap from which there is no escape. The air grows heavy as we venture into this dark tale of the Hope Diamond, a stone so mesmerizing yet deadly that broken bodies mark its path through history. We will peel back the veil of time to expose its blood-soaked legacy. Join me for a curse that spans over centuries, leaving a trail of death behind. Our journey begins with the most infamous gem in history, the Hope Diamond. Resting in the Smithsonian today, this 45-carat blue diamond sparkles with an innocent beauty. But its past is anything but innocent. Legend has it that the diamond carries a curse, bestowing a deadly fate upon anyone who dares to touch it. Its exact whereabouts of where it came from remain a mystery. Shrouded in the mists of time, some believe it was unearthed in a volcanic eruption, while others claim it was discovered in the Kolar mines of Golconda, India. The diamond's discovery marked the beginning of a curse that would echo through centuries. The precious stone, gleaming with an otherworldly light, was set as an all-seeing eye in the statue of a Hindu goddess, Sita, until Jean-Baptiste Tavernier, a traveling French merchant with darkness in his heart, committed the unthinkable. In 1666, under cover of night, he pried the sacred 115-carat blue diamond from its divine resting place, leaving an empty eye socket that seemed to weep in the moonlight. The locals, their fury mixing with ancient mystical knowledge, wove a curse so potent it would follow the blue diamond and its future owners like a hungry ghost, promising torment to any mortal who dared claim it as their own. Jean-Baptiste named the diamond after himself. While it was difficult to confirm anything from the 1600s, it is said after he sold the diamond, he died from a fever, and wild dogs ate his remains. Jean-Baptiste had brought the diamond from India to Europe. King Louis XIV bought the diamond and had it cut. He placed it among the French crown jewels and named it the French Blue. The French crown jewels are a collection of jewels that symbolized royal power in France. King Louis XIV loaned them to Nicolas Fouquet, the superintendent of finances in France. But shortly after, the king accused Nicholas of embezzlement. He was sentenced to death and executed. As for King Louis XIV, he died a very painful death from a gangrene infection. The blue diamond was eventually given to King Louis XVI and his queen, Marie Antoinette. King Louis XVI was publicly executed on January 21st, 1793. His queen, Marie Antoinette, was imprisoned in a temple before being transferred to the concierge, a former palace in Paris that was transformed into a prison. She spent her final days being insulted and humiliated. In the shadowy confines of her prison cell, Marie Antoinette's prized diamond was passed on to the safekeeping of Princess Marie-Louise, her most devoted confidant. But fate had woven a far more sinister destiny for the princess than mere guardianship of a gem. A frenzied mob descended upon her like wolves to their prey, the air filled with sickening screams while she was beaten with a hammer. Her screams drowned by the crowd's savage roars. They tore her body apart with primitive fury, disemboweled her on the cobblestone street. Then they severed her head from her shoulders. But the mob's bloodlust wasn't yet sated. In a final act of unspeakable cruelty, they mounted her once beautiful head upon a pike. They paraded it through the streets to Marie Antoinette's prison window, a grotesque trophy of revolution forced before Marie Antoinette's eyes of a woman she loved dearly. While their deaths most likely came as a result of the French Revolution, some say it was the curse of the Blue Diamond. During the bloody days of the French Revolution, chaos led to the theft of the diamond. The diamond had vanished into the shadows and later resurfaced into the hands of a Dutch jeweler, Wilhelm Falls. Under his blade, the 115-carat stone was transformed, stripped to a mere 45 carats. The mystery of how Falls acquired this cursed treasure died with him when his own son, consumed by greed, murdered his father in cold blood and stole the diamond, adding another chapter to its cursed legacy. By 1839, the cursed jewel found its way into the glittering collection of Henry Philip Hope, a wealthy Dutch-born banker prowling London's elite circles. His family fortune flowed from the powerful Hope & Company bank empire. He gave the diamond the name it bears today, the Hope Diamond. Perhaps unwittingly, he branded the stone with cruel irony, for hope was the last thing this cursed gem brought to its owners. In a final twist of fate, the diamond's inclusion in Hope's meticulous gem catalog only served to document its dark journey through history, like a ledger of doom, marking each ill-fated hand it passed through. When Henry passed away, the jewel passed through the Hope family, including nephews and grandsons. But the final family member to own it was Lord Francis Hope, who sold the blue diamond to pay his financial debts. It passed through the hands of Joseph Frankels in New York, who in turn also sold the diamond to pay debts. Others who owned it were Selim Habib, C.H. Rossino, and Simon Mayen Carrites, a Greek merchant who sold the diamond to Pierre Cartier in 1910. After Simon sold the diamond, he drove his car off a cliff with his wife and child inside. In 1910, fate drew another unsuspecting soul towards the cursed diamond when it gleamed from its perch at Cartier's in Paris, catching the eye of American socialite Evelyn Walsh McLean, the wife of Washington Post owner and publisher Edward Beale McLean. Evelyn was no stranger to power and luxury, but this stone promised something more sinister. Though she dismissed the original setting as unworthy, The diamond spell had already taken hold. The transaction that sealed her destiny occurred in 1911 within the ink-stained walls of the Washington Post offices. Edward, perhaps blind to the darkness that shadowed the gem's history, presented it to his wife as the ultimate token of affection. But love, like everything else, touched by the Hope Diamond, carried its price. Evelyn, defiant in the face of whispered warnings, draped herself in what many believed to be her own doom. She flaunted the diamond at lavish gatherings, its blue fire dancing at her throat, while friends and family begged her to part with it. Their desperate pleas for her to sell the cursed jewel before it claimed her as another victim were ignored. Like so many before, Evelyn refused to listen, wearing her fate like a badge of honor at every soiree and social gathering, daring the diamond's dark legacy to touch her. She assured friends and family she was safe, as she had the diamond blessed by a priest. During Evelyn's ownership of the diamond, she suffered many hardships. Her husband left her for another woman. She lost her son in a car accident. Her daughter passed from a drug overdose. And the Washington Post went bankrupt, forcing her to sell it. Evelyn passed owing large debt. Her surviving children sold the diamond to the American jeweler Harry Winston. It was shown at many exhibits for nearly a decade when Harry Winston finally mailed the diamond to the Smithsonian as a donation. In 1958, he paid $2.44 for postage and $155 to ensure the delivery. It is said that the mailman, James Todd, who delivered the diamond, suffered a leg injury in a truck accident shortly after the delivery. Today, the infamous Hope Diamond rests behind bulletproof glass at the National Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C. Its violent history seemingly tamed by the sterile halls of the Smithsonian. Valued at a staggering $250 million, this notorious gem draws millions of mesmerized visitors each year, making it the museum's most magnetic attraction. Perhaps it's not just the diamond's legendary beauty that pulls people close, but the dark whispers of its past, the trail of destruction it left across centuries of human desire. The stone glows with an otherworldly blue fire under the museum lights, deceptively peaceful now in its velvet-lined display. Yet, some say that even here, safely locked away in the National Gem and Mineral Collection, the Hope Diamond hasn't lost its power. It's merely waiting, collecting new admirers, as if gathering energy for its next chapter. After all, $250 million might tempt another soul to test whether the curse still lingers in those crystalline depths. From John Baptiste to Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, the trail of destruction followed this mesmerizing stones for centuries. Even now, in our modern age of science and reason, visitors report feeling an inexplicable chill when standing by its display. The Hope Diamond continues its vigil behind 3 inches of bulletproof glass in the Smithsonian, with guards armed and watching. But one must wonder if all that security is really meant to keep thieves out, or to keep something far more sinister contained within. Perhaps some curses never truly die. Maybe they just merely wait, patient as the diamonds themselves, watching through facets that have witnessed centuries of human suffering. So until next time, inspect those family heirlooms with wary eyes, and remember, when a stranger offers you a gem of unearthly color, run. Run as if your very soul depends on it, because it just might.